What is going on, guys? Welcome to a rapid signals review. So we're going to go through some trades that have been given in the rapid signals room. I have 3 trades to go over: NZDCAD, AUDUSD, and NZDUSD. So let's get started with NZDUSD. How we're going to do this is I'm going to start on the higher time frame, and the point is we want to look and see when we could potentially have gotten in on these orders, why the entries were actually taken, so on and so on. So we're going to start up on the higher time frame. We're always looking to the higher time frame to identify what is kind of our main levels here. As we can see on NZD/USD, we have this level of resistance all along this area. We have support, it acting as support over here, and again, and again. So price, basically, if we zoom in a little bit, we can see that price actually respected this level pretty well. So let's go ahead. Here we go. So price came down, retested our zone. Again, this is just a general area that price is in that we are looking for reversal at based on how it reacted previously. And we can see price came down in this area. We had that retracement. We had rejection with a long wick to the downside, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4 candles that failed for it to push down. This candle pushes up. So once this kind of happens, we're expecting price to now retest this previous key level here, because we're simply looking for price to move from like zone to zone, to move from level to level on the higher time frame. So as we come down to the 1 hour time frame, we can clearly see here that, let's zoom out a little bit. We can clearly see that the trend was bearish. We zoom out even more. The trend was overall very bearish, forming these lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high, then a new low, lower high. And then what happened? We broke the resistance. But once we break the resistance like this, we're looking always for that break and the retest, and we're realistically using our fibs for the most part and looking for it to test this 38.2 level. So as we can see, price broke the resistance, then started climbing higher, started breaking these highs, formed this like mini higher low, breaking retest, formed this new high, and then we have this break and retest ultimately of this level right here. So we had this high point which was broken, we came down here, we had a retest of the previous high point, and then as you can see, this is where the entry actually took place right here. We had all these doji candles and this morning star. Pretty much we entered on the retest of the previous high and this rejection right here. So that's 2 confirmations right here. And remember, on the higher time frame, we are ultimately very bullish on this pair. So we're looking for it to test this key level up here. So we just count the confirmations because we want to have multiple confluences or confirmations when we are entering in on a trade. One thing that we observed when we had a break over the resistance, then we were just simply looking for a retest of the previous high points, ideally the 38.2 area, which in this case wasn't met, but we had that mapped out anyway. So price came down or came up, broke the resistance, came down, retested it right here, and this could also have been an entry point, honestly, in this area, and then you're just kind of throwing stops below this previous low right here, or giving yourself, in the case that we did, a little bit more room in case this thing came into a bit more drawdown. So this was NZD/USD. As you can see, afterwards price hiked up, and the target is pretty much this previous high point right here, as we can see. So we were targeting that previous high. Price came up, ended up achieving a 2-to-1 risk reward, ended up running a little bit further than that, but we probably would have closed at 2-to-1, at least that's what, according what the signal was. And then now we're starting to get that rejection up here on the higher time frame. If we go ahead and just kind of map out, we have like a left shoulder, we have this head, now we have this right shoulder forming. So this is now potentially like a head and shoulders pattern. Ideally this thing curves up, but as we can see here, there is some potential now for it to reject these highs and to now come to the downside. So that's NZD/USD. Next, let's take a look at AUDUSD. So on this one, I have several levels sort of marked from this daily time frame. So we're going to come down here. So we're always marking these levels on the higher time frame. We had a bunch of resistance down in this area. Now I'm going to remove this level just because it's not as relevant to our current situation. So we did have this area, we had resistance, resistance coming over here, zooming in a little bit. We had some support, support, resistance, resistance, support, support. So this is definitely a key level that has being tested. As you can see from where the actual entry was, price came down, retested this low, rejected it pretty significantly. We had the bearish candle, bullish candle, followed up with a bullish candle. This is a bullish variation here, especially the third candle, 3 white soldiers going to the upside. So definitely a bullish signal that was given. And then if we come down to the lower time frame, we can very clearly see kind of what's going on here. So this is going to be right here, those 3 bullish candles. It's going to be these breaks and retest, forming these new highs. And then ultimately we had this little dip below. So we actually broke some support here. And then what happened? We had price start to break these levels again. We had all of these breaks and retests. And then ultimately we could see price started to form a very healthy trend going all the way to the upside. We actually came back down to retest this high right here, and then again, same thing. We had these breaks and retests all the way until price finally started to break down, and now we're potentially going back to the downside. So if we look at this right now, basically we had first the break of resistance here, the break of resistance here, and the break of resistance here. So this is all in the higher time frame, those bullish candles forming. Then ultimately what we saw where the entry was actually taken was price broke support right here. And then once price breaks support, realistically, we're always looking for that first lower high and actually trying to short in this area, right? We're always looking for price to form a lower high. But what ended up happening instead was price formed this level, rejected this level, and then we had a break and retest actually of that level that was formed. And this is when the bullish trend began. So this is just very simply breaks and retests, bearish to bullish trends. Remember, on the daily time frame, we were ultimately very bullish on this because of the fact that it rejected this lower zone right here, this lower key level. We're looking for it to go zone to zone, so we're looking for it to retest this other level. So coming down to the 1 hour, ultimately we're really just looking for buying opportunities once that's established that there was that higher time frame rejection here. And that was the first buying opportunity. There's several other buying opportunities on this one. Obviously, we could have entered here, and I'll remove all these lines in 1 second. We could have entered there, and then we could have entered all along this area, and then ultimately all along this area as well. So let's go ahead and just remove this and take a look. So basically, we're only trying to take entries on higher low points once we've established a bullish trend. This is a higher low, this is a higher low. 3 other higher lows that formed, these were just retests of the previous higher low. And we had a break, retest of this higher low right here. So ultimately, those were all opportunities that we could have taken advantage of and entered with. So that is AUDUSD. And then last but not least, we have NZDCAD. So let's bump up on this one to the daily. Let's actually move up to the weekly because this one moves a lot. So I have some levels placed here. The reason this level is placed, we had support, 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 resistance, support, resistance, support, support, support. And then as you can see, price rejected this area again where the entry was actually taken. Even coming down now to the daily time frame, we can clearly see that this was a low that had been held several times all the way back to August. So once price comes in this area, we're realistically looking for reversal. And these are all reversal candles in the zone. We have a spinning top. We have another like inverted hammer candle, another spinning top. So those are all reversal candles. And coming down to the 1 hour time frame, this is also what we're looking for. The same as AUDUSD. We were in a very clear downtrend right here, forming these lows and lower highs. Then we had a bit of a break. So we started doing all these breaks and retests. Then we broke down, and then we started doing it one more time. So remember, we're not actually looking for this that early. So you might say, why didn't we enter like all the way back here on these breaks and retests? Because look how early that is on the higher time frame. So we're sitting on the higher time frame and we're still waiting for some rejection. This is the very early stages of the reversal, because this is the formation of that spinning top. Then we have another candle that forms reversal candle, another reversal candle. So it's just simply not enough confirmation yet. It's just a bit early. And then ultimately, once the actual entry was taken, was basically once we had this like really nice breakout, break to the upside, broke resistance, broke above the zone. And then we had price retest the top of this zone right here. And then ultimately we had these doji candles, this bullish candle. So that was the entry. Then obviously another entry presented itself here. Another entries presented themselves here on the retest. And then this thing kind of shot to the upside. So those are three trades, three trade ideas, kind of how we trade them. Again, this is NZDCAD, this is AUDUSD, and this is NZDUSD. So as you can see on all of these trades, we are giving the buy the entry price, the stop loss, the take profit. Every take profit is always going to be 2-to-1 risk reward. So we're always shooting for 2 risk reward at least. As you can see with some of these, they have run past 2-to-1 risk reward. But you're getting the entry, stop loss, and all the take profit levels. And then we'll just go back inside of the chat here. And you can see inside of the chat, we're posting again the signals. We're working on doing some updates, so like when to move stop losses to break even and so on, stuff like that. But every time one of these trades actually is at their final kind of conclusion, we will be posting these before and after pictures, so you guys do know when those trades are actually closed out. And we're going to go ahead and update those for this week. So this week we're still having 40% off the rapid signals. So it's normally $75 per month. This week only it is $45. So that ends tomorrow. If you're interested in getting in, trying out the rapid signals, definitely now is the time. $45. We've already had multiple people make that and more. Someone has made $1,000, $3,000 and more from the signals. So what I would advise, guys, is if you're interested, get in now, take advantage of the sale, and everyone that's already inside, take in these lessons, take in these notes from these trades, and put these to use as you learn and continue to grow from using the signals. So thanks, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube page, and I'll see you guys in the next one.